Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Myself, obviously, and KMT from CFO. He's actually on holiday, off-season now. You can see he's in Hawaii at the moment. How are things going? How's the off-season shaping up? How are you feeling about your CFO team's Worlds performance and all that good stuff?
Off season's been pretty busy. Every year it's always off season always like the busiest time. So we're trying to keep players or find new ones or like see who's doing what. So yeah, it's just busy time of the year. It's not really vacation, even though I am in Cancun because CFO didn't make it to the finals of Worlds.
Yeah. Yep. Well, how did you feel, I guess, first of all, about their performance at Worlds? Because, I mean, to me, it was a pretty valiant effort, do I think, coming in, they could have beaten KT? I thought so, but now KT just seemingly are, the best performing team at the competition, so seeing them get 3-0'd at the time felt very bittersweet, but I think now, in retrospect, it's like, okay, well, they just went and clowned on Genji right afterwards, so you kind of feel a little bit better about how CFO did after that, right?
Oh, for sure. Before going to that match, KT didn't really beat anyone that great. It's like the best team they beat was TS. So when we drew KT, I was feeling pretty good. I know everyone else was
Yeah.
feeling pretty good. Because on paper, coming into the tournament, KT probably was the weakest Eastern team, from LCK LPL.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
thought it was gonna be pretty competitive. I saw a lot of people predicting maybe a 3-2 for CFO, or maybe a 3-2 for KT. But yeah, the 3-0 at first was really shocking. Cuz BB and Peter, they all play so insane.
yeah.
But now, after they beat Genji, it doesn't feel so bad. It feels like, okay, you know what? We just underestimated KT. KT leveled the fuck up. They're actually really good. So yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't feel so bad to lose a team in the finals.
I agree, man. I was so excited to see that we drew KT because the options were AL, who seemingly were the much harder draw, right? And then
Yeah.
RNG in the alpha, the what are the 1-3 bracket or the 3-1 bracket, and that felt like a death sentence because okay, maybe you can draw G2, which Top somehow miraculously managed to. But it's more likely you are going to draw Hanwha Life or Gen G. So I was like, okay, look,
Yeah,
I'm going to be
the
okay
options
with.
are pretty rough.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty happy that we got KT, and now KT actually just seemingly, at least in my opinion, look like the best team at the competition, right? Sure, T1 were very clean up against Top Esports, but Top Esports are, in many people's, I think everyone's opinions, a lot easier to take down than Gen G were. And, there's a lot of reasons people come up with, maybe it's nerves from Chovy or whatever it may be. But just realistically speaking, there is no way that anyone looks at Gen G and thinks, okay, the T1 performance against Top was better than KT being able to 3-1 Gen G. At least that's my opinion, and I think most people would probably agree just based on, how the entire year has been. So, yeah, KT absolutely clowned on us. Honestly,
Yeah.
I still do believe that we didn't really look like ourselves, right? Obviously credit to KT for being so good, and obviously during the 2 weeks where they didn't play, they did a lot of homework on how CFO play the game, and especially in the early stages of the game, where we didn't even get to see the early game out of CFO that we're used to. So, yeah, it was an unfortunate exit, but now that we've got sort of the context of the entire tournament and the rest of the playoffs, I feel pretty happy with how we did. And honestly, history was already made just by getting into those playoffs. So I think your team and obviously having someone like you behind them has done very, very well for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I wish CFO did better against KT, right? And we can always say, oh, maybe CFO didn't play 100% or they could have played better. But I don't want to take away credit from KT. I think KT did look really well, but obviously being biased towards CFO, I'm always going to be if we played a little bit better, maybe you could have beaten KT. Yeah, the other options were crazy. It was like HLE, Gen G, or AL. The only other easy, quote unquote easy option would have been G2.
Yeah, I think G2's the easiest draw.
That's about it.
But
yeah, in hindsight, G2 would have been the easiest.
Yeah, but either way, the chances of getting them, as I said, very, very low. I will now work out changing scene, and I think we should talk about the future now as well. That, of course, hold up, I need to bring up your face again. There we go. Being the LCP format for 2026, because obviously there are a few changes. I think the start of the year is much the same. for the first 2 splits is pretty much as things were, beside we do now have the 2v2 for side selection instead of the 1v1. And then, as well as that, of course, championship points, which we don't really have all the information on currently. But sort of, what is your take going through the formats? And I mean, we can start off with, I think, the 2v2 side selection, because to me, that's very exciting, right? Because I don't know about yourself, but for me, casting those 1v1s and whatnot quite often became very boring, because you'd load in and you'd kind of know what champion's going to win, because there is just going to be a favored champion in the matchup, and generally, because it's a 1v1, that champion is going to win. But with 2v2s, I think now not only does it encourage more fighting, right, so you're more likely to see early wins off just pure mechanical outplays and whatnot, but there's a depth of understanding what champs are good, right? Because, you know, 2v2, you think AD carry support. I don't think that's necessarily going to be what's strong, right? You can go for things like Pantheon Taliyah is a really good example of, like, just 2 champions that we see paired mid-jungle, but if you just put them in a lane together, they're going to be very, very daunting. And I think this is going to make the side selection games a lot more entertaining, at least personally, and obviously we'll have to wait to see. But what's your sort of take on those?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but like a long time ago, we had the like the All Stars events and stuff.
Yes, yeah,
where they
way
had
back.
like 2v2. Back then, like I remember like a Mad Life beating like Double Effect Special with like Annie Jarvan, for example.
Yeah.
So we might see like crazy things like that, where just like the I don't know, like the early game level ones are just like the strongest champions, might be that kind of thing. So maybe we won't see too many 80 carries. I'm fine with it. I thought 1v1s were pretty fun for the most part. Like, the thing is, like, I don't know all the 1v1 matchups, so it's kind of fun to see, like, all the different things and be like, oh, Darius is really strong in lane, so maybe it's good in the 1v1s, but then it just, like, runs it down to, like, some other champion.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. Like, 2v2, we'll change it up. I think it'll still be interesting, still be fun. The championship points, like, I'm not a big fan of that, because, like, I don't know if you remember, but in, like, LEC, like, last year, right, they had the championship points.
Yeah.
Whereas like Mad Lions came in like 6th place ish in summer, but because of championship points, they're able to qualify to like the finals and like make it through to Worlds. And I feel like that kind of like is not great. Like, obviously we should try to reward teams for doing well throughout the year.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't have a regional gauntlet like LPL does, where it's like, okay, first team is whoever wins summer, second is championship points, third place is whoever wins the gauntlet. I feel like that would be perfectly fine. Like, if the LCP had like a regional gauntlet, or like the third place team was determined by like you know, the small like tournament, I'd be totally cool with championship points. But I'm a little bit worried. I feel like a lot of regions don't implement championship points well, and whenever you know, they bring it up, it feels kind of bad.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, right? Because we don't really have any details on what the championship points look like. Like, ultimately, there is the chance, and what like one thing that I think LCP did well in the first year was in Split 3, making like all the important matches essentially just give you higher seeding into that finals playoff, the season finals playoff.
Yeah.
All you did basically was you got better seeding, right? Like, that was the bonus for being in the breakout group versus the contenders group, or whichever way around it was. And so I think maybe if they do something like that, where, you know, okay, the team with the highest championship points over the course of the year can have a better seeding into the season finals, they still then have to prove they're good enough to actually qualify for Worlds, where I think that is fine. I think giving a straight berth to Worlds because you won the season kickoff is probably like, okay, well, like, that was a long time ago. You know, a lot has changed since then. So we just like have to wait and find out. But I agree, there's like, it is always a little bit of, there is always nerves around championship points, because implementing it where early season is too heavily weighted can often lead to you not sending the best teams.
Like, also, Split 1 is like a completely different game compared to Split 3.
Yeah.
Like, cause this year Split 1 we had like lane swaps were like a huge thing, but then, you know, lane swaps weren't really a thing in like Split 2. It kind of came back in Split 3, kind of, but then it's like, you know,
but different.
It's like a complete different lane swap like situation. So like, that's why it feels bad to have like, oh, you know, like, obviously, you know, I want to reward teams that did well like throughout the year, but doing well in Split 1 has very little relevance of how good of a team you are in Split 3 for the most part.
Yeah, definitely agree. But again, we just have to wait and find out. I do agree that I hope it's not like too heavily weighted to the early seasons, because as you said, the game just changes way too much between, you know, March and October. So Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to find out about that. What do you think about the Swiss stage in Split 3? I kind of like it in the sense that it's just preparation for Worlds, right? Like, we're probably going to be the only region that has Swiss preparation for Worlds. It can lead, I worry, about, and honestly, it's only going to lead to seeding in playoffs, I imagine, so it shouldn't be too big of a concern. But there's always the outside concern where a team that's really good but has a really hard draw ends up, because of the draw, not making Worlds, right? Like, we could use this year as an example, like Team Secret Wales. Imagine if they started by getting, like, GAM and CFO, and then they're on, like, 1 point away from being eliminated or whatever it was, or like, they get to a lower seed, and then their first seed, when they actually get to the playoffs, is CFO because they got a lower seed because of the draw, can be a concern. But that is the nature of Worlds as well. So, like, I think having that preparation is going to do well. And it'll be interesting to see, ultimately. It gives a little bit more excitement to the thing rather than just the standard round robin.
I mean, prep for Swiss, I don't really agree with, because I don't know how you, like, prep for Swiss. It's just mostly to play more BO3s in general. But, I mean, as long as we have a double elimination bracket, I feel like we'll still get the best 3 teams making it through.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, like, the Swiss format is, like, bad or has too much random factor, I feel like double elimination brackets will kind of correct any errors that might be prevalent in Swiss.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, it is kind of weird that we have Swiss. I mean, it kind of depends, because I don't know how an 8-team Swiss format would look like. Usually it's like way more.
Yeah. Like Worlds is 16,
so
right?
It's kind of, yeah, it's Worlds is 16, so I don't know what an 8-team Swiss format would look like and how they're gonna do it. But I am interested, like, you know, like, fuck it, like, we can just change it up, do Swiss, because they are talking about how there's less time for Split 3, so they're trying to, like, squeeze in a split before Worlds, and this is their solution, and I maybe it could be okay. I don't know, like, I'd have to see, but I'm glad that. I mean, the good thing is playoffs is gonna be all BO5s, so there's no more, like, BO3s. So as long, like, that to me is a much better change than, like, Swiss.
Yeah.
Like, because we have that, I'm not too worried about how Swiss will be. Like, even if we get a really bad draw, like, if the top 4 teams are, you know, PSG, GAM, CFO, Secret Wales, and somehow, like, I don't know, Secret Wales draws all 3 and gets fucked over, they can still make it through with the BO5 double elimination playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think it should be okay.
Yeah, and this, for me, is probably what I'm most excited for. Like, just honestly speaking, from someone that lives in Middle-earth, like, you know, late at night, I have to go tend to the hobbits. So, like, you know, the time of the day of which LCP started. So, for reference, for those who don't know, throughout the entire year, I was starting my cast at 9:30 p.m., and then at the very last part of Split 3, I was starting the cast at 10:30 p.m., which, you know, if you have a 6-game day, means that I would be sometimes there till like 3 in the morning. Which, I mean, it's fine because my body clock got used to it, but, like, ideally I want to be living some semblance of a normal life, just so, you know, I have things that I can do in the day. So the fact it's now starting at 2 p.m. is a really, really, really good change for me, like, personally for me, but also, I mean, it's not as important now that the Chiefs got relegated, but, like, OS viewers as well can actually watch at these times, because, again, they sort of allowed
what time would it be for you for 2 p.m.?
2 p.m. for me is at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I believe it's going to be 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Is GMT +8 is Taipei, right?
Yeah, 3.5 hours earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's 3.5 hours earlier, so it should be 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then
that's not bad.
Yeah. So 6 p.m. start, which means, you know, I'm never gonna have to be there till midnight, which is honestly, like, really, really good. Like, I actually get to.
They waited until Chiefs to get relegated for them to do that.
Yeah, look, but I was gonna say about that, like, they did
it's fine,
somewhat accommodate OS fans and Chiefs by every single Chiefs game being the first of the night. So they made it always the first game. So, like, for New Zealand that was 9:30. For most of Australia that is 7:30. There's I mean, Perth, for example, is in the same time zone as Taipei. So for them, it's like, this is actually probably a worse time slot if there's weekday games. But obviously you want to accommodate for the majority of people, not the lower. As well as, I don't have the tweet up and ready, but Barn has also stated that LCK is going later, which means we've basically swapped time slots, it feels, right? Because like LCP would start just as LCK is generally, second series is starting or whatever. Whereas now we're going to be starting before them. So I think that's really good. Both, for me, selfishly, but more importantly, I think as well, having the league start before the LCK should probably encourage more viewership for the LCP, which I think is really important. Because ultimately, one of the hardest sort of audiences to reach, and like I'm doing my best to help, obviously, and yourself too, is the English audience. And a big part of that is like, okay, LCK's already been on for 2 hours. Are you going to watch the $1 million product that has the best players in the world that you're already watching, or are you going to click off to the LCP? Well, the answer is almost always going to be stay on the LCK, right? I mean,
yeah,
the show has just got a higher budget,
like,
looks nicer, the casters are fucking incredible, so yeah, I mean, it just makes sense.
But also, like, obviously we're biased towards LCP, but like, if you have to be really, like, what is it, like, fair, like, would you rather watch T1 versus Gen G or like DFM versus Chiefs?
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
I understand why people would want to watch more like hype match, better teams.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that with this new change, we're away from the LCK a little bit more, and it's like, I don't know what the bottom teams are, but like, DNF and like DRX or some shit. Like, if those two teams are playing, maybe you'll be like, I'll take a look at LCP if it's like, CFO versus GAM or some like PSG or like one of the more exciting teams.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I think it's good. Like, get into a time slot. Yeah, 2 p.m. kind of sucks for most people living in the like Asia region, because it's like it would be 3 p.m. for Japan and 1 p.m. for Vietnam.
Yes.
So it's like kind of weird, but
on the weekends it's fine
like,
though, right? Like to me at least, it seems like. I mean, at least last year, and I know Barnes said there'll be more weekday games, but I imagine the majority will still be Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Then 1 p.m. start
even
is like,
not including like English fans, like
yeah,
a lot of like those, like a lot of fans in Asia would watch LCK over LCP, even if they were like Vietnam or like Japanese or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it is like separating us a little bit. Maybe you'll get more eyes on LCP. Like, once you watch a product, you enjoy it. Maybe you could grow a fan base that way.
Yep.
Because convincing people to not watch LCK and watch LCP is like next to impossible. But it's easier to be like, hey, like, now that I'm into LCP and I'm a big fan of like DFM, I'm gonna watch DFM games instead of LCK. Maybe that might happen.
Sure. Yeah. Then
no, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm down for the change.
Yeah, and like again for weekends, 1 p.m. like it's barely a commitment, right? Like it's people that, like, most people that are working on weekends are probably working when LCP starts anyway, right? That's the nature of weekend jobs generally, is like a 5 p.m. start on a weekend is probably when most people are working anyway. It's not like a 9 till 5. And so I think a 1 p.m. start are probably still going to be the same people able to watch for at least the weekend games. Now, we'll go to the obviously very high production here. Very, very. I mean, the amount of money I've had to invest into making this video is
it's
crazy.
ridiculous. I see all the cameramen and like the people.
Yeah. So,
iced latte. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Sorry.
That's fine.
Interns.
LCP roadshows. Obviously, yourself and myself, we were at Da Nang, and it was really cool. I personally thought it was sick. Now, obviously, Sunday had a lot more attendees than the Saturday, but honestly, Saturday was still reasonably full. At least like, I mean, I was obviously focusing on casting a lot of the time, but it was still like reasonably full. I think the upstairs seats were were more empty, and then Sunday was just packed. But what do you think about these road shows? Because obviously, first one was in Vietnam now. We have the regular season in Taipei anyway, but there's also the option, like if they want to do a grand finals in Taipei, it'll be a big event. So there's a chance that next year is just going to be in Taipei or somewhere in Taiwan. And there's also obviously Japan, where LJL have 2 teams. Is it likely that either of them are in the finals? Probably not, unfortunately, which might dissuade them from using Japan, as well as at least my understanding of like the difference between Taipei, Vietnam, and Japan, as Japan is the most expensive out of the 3. So that also might be a way to dissuade having a show there. But what do you think for next year as a roadshow? Do you think it would make sense to, reward the Taiwan fans who they do get the round-the-year shows, but like nothing quite as big as a grand finals, right? So what is your take on having a roadshow next year?
I I mean, I would like to have 3 road shows a year. Like that'd be nice. Like even like on a smaller scale,
Mm-hmm.
like where you just rent out a smaller like studio for like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 seats or
Yeah.
whatever. I feel like that would still be better than like the like 100 or whatever plus seater that we have for the regular season games. Like I like road shows. I mean, the one in Da Nang was like awesome.
Yeah.
The fans are cool. Like meeting everyone was like really awesome, really hype. Yeah, like I think Japan is a little bit harder because obviously the LGL teams right now are not doing too well, and also Japan's just like way more expensive, especially if you want to
Right.
host it where people would watch, like Tokyo, like Osaka, or like a major city.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna cost a lot, like flights, hotels, or whatever, transportation. So I would like to see it there. Like that would be cool. Like there are like fans that would come and watch. Like whenever the LGL finals was hosted in Tokyo, there was a decent amount of people. Probably less than like what you'd have in Vietnam, because I think Vietnam was like 6,000 people showed up
Was it? Oh,
or something like that.
damn. Okay. I didn't know the numbers. Yeah.
I forget I don't remember the exact figure, but it was a good amount. Like obviously it wasn't packed, because the thing was, like, game 1 where, like, Secret Whales got clapped.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the fans were like, oh, it's over, let's go home. But then, like, when Secret Whales was coming back, they started to turn around and come back to the thing. So it had, like, a weird number. Like, ticket sales and actual attendees don't really match.
Damn.
But, like, I think in LGL, like, when we had it, there was, like, 3,000 people. Maybe more or less, depending on the year.
Yeah.
So it could happen. I think it's possible.
Do you know, like, because
Just cost is the big question mark.
for sure, and I think, like, I'm trying to remember back to 2023, which was when I went to the one in Taipei, the Taipei hipping basketball gymnasium. Fond memories.
That was cool. I really like that one.
Yeah, I think that was more packed than Da Nang, from memory. It's like it's like obviously again my
Maybe.
memory is a little bit shoddy that far back, but it seemed pretty packed back there that time round. And I mean, honestly, even with the LCP now being bigger, you'd probably get a few of the Vietnamese fans flying over to Taipei, same as some of the Japanese fans might also, because it is just a cool event, right? Like a lot of Taiwan fans actually flew to Da Nang.
Yeah.
I mean, like quite a few of them that knew me through threads or whatever. And honestly, I couldn't believe how many people in Vietnam knew me, by the way. That was crazy. I was like blown away that just so many people recognized me, which is, I mean, a cool feeling. But I certainly hope there's more road shows. I also hope that the English cast is included in them, because I love going to those areas of the world and like meeting the fans and producing the content for the LCP and stuff like that. So I really do hope more of those happen, and I hope I have the opportunity to. And while we're on the topic, obviously high budget here we go. I need your take on this one first, Kevin, mate. Vestian in Taiwan, bold, make this happen, I will save bit LCP. Thoughts?
I think it would be great if we had like casters in person. Obviously, like logistics and stuff, it makes it difficult, but I think it would be good. Like like LCK like invested money in the English cast. They brought over the casters back, like
Back in season,
StarCraft
yeah,
days.
yeah.
like predating League of Legends,
Yeah.
So like, and it paid off. Like that they have that long history of like English casters with LCK games.
For sure.
So I think if you want to start doing that, like it would help a lot. Like if you're in person, you can like see the games. Like even if you don't hear your own voice, like I mean like
Yeah.
you're a caster, you know more about it. But I always hear stories like like casting in a studio is hard. Even if you're like casting like at an event, there's fans. They don't hear your voice, but you can still feed off their energy. It makes the cast better.
Yeah.
Makes the games more exciting. So like having you there, like just soaking in the atmosphere, I feel like will make the LCP English product way better, and it'll just be like, I mean, awesome.
Yeah.
I hope we can make it work.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the reason I included this is because obviously I want to do it. More importantly than anything. And I guess I should give my reasonings as to why. Like, obviously, selfishly, I think living over there would be really cool. I enjoy living in Asia. Ultimately, I find it like a lot of fun to be over there, and as well as I'd like to be more involved with the fans that are over there, because I mean, I do my best to interact with them on threads, the Vietnamese as well on Facebook. So I think being in the area as well will do a lot for myself. Just to be able to work with and meet the fans and meet the other casters and meet Carrie and whatnot. But also as a part that like in terms of the entire league is obviously I'm already doing like voiceovers and stuff to help with the LCP from time to time. But I think being there in person as well, helping to, do voiceovers or be involved in videos or whatever it may be over there, and also work with the teams, right? Because our biggest, the biggest market that we can't really tap into right now, well, we can, but it's very difficult to, is English. And like in terms of the people that are willing to invest a lot of time into promoting the LCP to an English fan base, there's not many. There certainly are some, like co-streamers like Logan, yourself, Poro, and Pike, and all these people definitely do invest time into trying to spread the LCP to an English fan base. It's just very difficult to, because, let's be honest, there's just not a lot of interest in people to discover the LCP.
Yeah.
But I like especially off the back of CFO's success at Worlds, a lot of the Western teams as well like to get behind the CFO, or the LCP in general, because we aren't LCK or LPL. Like, that alone gives us a lot of fans, because a lot of people are tired of seeing the same regions win over and over again, right? It'll be a really cool story to have someone else win. And I think there is certainly a market there. CFO, again, have a lot of Western fans now. The entirety of KC, essentially, is CFO fans. Like, secondary, of course. But, I think there's a market there, and I think, having myself and Blue Panda over there would certainly be able to do a lot to promote the LCP, the teams of the LCP, to the wider English audience, and that's part of obviously how well they do. That's part of LCK's success, right? Like, I was watching OGN before they'd won a world championship, because it was really cool to see Doa and Monte Cristo over in Korea casting such exciting games with people like Mad Life playing. Like, that was what was exciting to me, right? And then they ended up being the most competitive, or the best region in the world, and then it's like, okay, well, now they've got an easier way to get fans and whatnot. But from the beginning, it was just like, man, this is super cool just to see these guys over there bringing a Korean product in English.
Yeah. Oh, shout out Mirai Panda, Mon Ami. Dude, this guy's always fighting for CFO in French, so I just want to shout him out.
I do see that. I always hit the Grok translation on his posts.
Yeah, me too. I don't know any French, dude, so I'm always saying to translate. But yeah,
that's true.
I love LCK because of Doa Monty started it off.
Yeah.
But then you have people come and go, but
Atlas Chronicler more recently,
LCK,
right?
Yeah, Papa Smithy, LS,
yeah.
There's I don't know, there's so many people that went through, but it still has that same vibe and feeling that it had 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I feel you got to start somewhere. Obviously, it's not gonna be popping off day one, but you being in person, you're being able to do content with teams, or helping out just in general, because DCG is down in the league, but I don't think DCG really has anything to help for English, and I think they would appreciate someone that you that speaks English that could help them create content or help give ideas. And I think it's just overall yeah, dude, I think it'd be great. I just think that basically LCP has upgraded every year.
Yeah.
Since when I came in 2022, we had that offline studio. Some teams play from home, but then they started flying people in for playoffs. They had expanded it with OCE, Japan, whatever. They had a offline finals event. Every year it just gets better and better. No more BO1s, only BO3s. Double elimination playoffs. It's just okay. I feel this is the next step forward. Come on, guys. Now we get in some in-house talent. We start to expand the product and expand the fan base.
I think
this is it. I think this is the way to go.
There's one important part you missed as well, was getting rid of Douche team. Jesus Christ, man. Oh,
dude.
Obviously a little off topic, really, but there's no way you can convince me those guys were trying to win. I'm sorry. It's years down the track now. I feel like I'm allowed to say this now, but there is absolutely no chance those guys were going into those games trying to win. I watched this Yaltu guy just drop 11 deaths every game.
Dude, one of the first things I got in trouble for was talking shit about Douche team.
Was that?
Because I was with this team, are they even trying to win?
Yeah.
But, I feel if you just gave a Reddit fan
Bro.
controlled the team and the roster, they would have made a better team.
But like,
I'm
the
sure we're
crazy
talking
thing
bad
is,
shit.
was his jungler the WSL or something, right? I forget his name now. It was just 3 letters. I think it was like WSL. But just like randomly out of nowhere, that guy would just pop the fuck off. Like they would just sprint it, and then out of nowhere, it was like, what the fuck? This guy just has 30 kills. Like for what, bro? Like, no, that team.
Oh.
Anyway.
Jewish team, dude. Nobody's gonna know who the fuck that is. Nobody, dude.
No, but like
no
honestly,
way.
I'm jealous of them. I'm appalled I had to watch those guys. Anyway, moving on. LCS, obviously the big news. Busio going over to KC. I've obviously seen a lot on Twitter surrounding this, and I'm inclined to agree with the take LS had, where it was like, well, obviously I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but it just makes so much more sense if you're an NA player to get an offer from KC to go to KC. There's more fans. It's generally a more competitive league, right? Like, I mean, we saw that at Worlds. G2 were clearly better than FlyQuest. It just makes sense. It just strictly makes sense to do that. And, like, you would have to offer an obscene amount of money to keep him, I feel like. And even then, that might not be worth it for Busio to stay. So, yeah, I mean, logically, for Busio's career, it makes a lot of sense. But it does really hinder NA League. Because I believe now the sentiment is that Ayla is the best support in the league, which now makes an Oceanic player the best player in a role in a major region.
Dude,
just saying.
No way.
Just saying, that makes an Oceanic player rank 1.
I haven't seen Ayla recently. There's no way he's the best support.
Well, that's what I saw. That's what I saw on Twitter. I don't know. I don't watch enough NA.
So fucked, man.
NA's at a cursed time of the day for me because I'm sleeping at normal human hours. But
yeah, me too.
But yeah, it's that's what I saw, and he's an Oceanic player, so like I'm inclined to agree. You know what I mean? Like he probably is just the best in the world now. But yeah, I mean, a crazy loss, I think, for FlyQuest, and a crazy loss for NA, considering, I mean, realistically, how good Busio was. I mean, we saw it at Worlds, right? Even if you didn't
he was
watch
like
him.
the best support in the region, and
Yeah.
he's fucked up the rival region, essentially, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, a big pickup for KC, right? And obviously, a team with a lot of fans. The fans are going to be pretty excited to see that, so I think it makes sense for Busio, and it makes sense for KC as well. So I think a good job by KC to pick them up, and like, I like FlyQuest, I really do. I think, like, Papa Smithy, obviously I liked him since he was in Oceania. Ultimately, casting in Oceania, went to LCK, now general manager or operations manager of FlyQuest. Forget his title, but, like, I'm pretty hopeful that he comes up with something creative and good for the team, because, I mean, FlyQuest year on year have managed to do so, like, I'm sure they'll be able to find a way to create a competitive and a roster that can ultimately win in A, but it'll be interesting to see now that Busio's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think Papa Smithy is really good at his job. Like his passion for scouting and watching like talent is actually kind of crazy. Yeah. Like he watches like every region, tries to find out like, oh, what are other teams doing. So if anyone's gonna fix FlyQuest, it's gonna be him, right? Like I mean, Inspired is rumored to leave, Busio's rumored to leave, and
Bwipo as well,
like,
right?
Okay, what do you do? Yeah, Bwipo's like might be role swapping the jungle or something like that, but he's not gonna be like a top laner. It's like, I mean, there's all these rumors right now. It's kind of crazy. I mean, like, dude, I mean, Busio leaving to fucking Europe is still crazy, man. That's like when Doublelift left CLG and went to TSM. It's like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
Dude, yeah,
like, I can't believe it's happening. I honestly is like, my mind, when I saw that tweet, I was like, holy fuck, dude. NA is so, like, it's so fucked right now. Like, the fact that star players, like, I mean, JoJo, now Busio, like, if Jan leaves now, I'm just like, dude, who's left? Who's left in that region? Yeah,
it is rough. I mean, ultimately, I mean, off-season, that's the scary thing about off-seasons, right? You're never going to know until kind of the end of it what each region looks like at the moment. NA, I think, objectively looks weaker than it did. But that's not to say they can't, you know, find a semblance of a good team or something that can mimic the success that FlyQuest had, but try and improve on it internationally. But talking of off-seasons, of course, obviously, no leaks, but how are your general vibes this off-season for not just CFO, but the LCP in general? Because obviously, we're going to lose people like Maple, Casa. They're almost certainly gone. Casa obviously hasn't said anything about retiring, but like it's been pretty heavily implied that it will happen. Levy as well, it seems like might be done, but again, no confirmation on that either. What are your general vibes?
The weird thing about LCP, like off season, is that Asia off seasons waits like for Worlds.
Right.
So that's why there hasn't really been any stories or rumors going on right now. Like Western off season, like NAEU, usually happens during Worlds. Like this is the first time I think where it's kind of happened post Worlds. So I'm actually kind of shocked. Usually we get like stories like, oh, during the tournament, G2 is gonna kick Mickey X. You're just like, what the fuck? They're still playing. Why is there rumors about that? Like, but so LCP, like, there's really like not much to league, not much going on.
Yeah.
Like players are talking, now. I don't know about Levi and like Karsa potentially leaving. It's possible, right? Like they've been playing forever, so you never know when. It's basically up to them whether they want to stay and continue or to.
I mean, they're still good enough to compete if they want to.
I still think both of them are good enough for LCP level, especially.
Yeah.
Like VCS is still like rebuilding their player base, like so it's gonna be like another. I would say maybe another year until VCS gets back on their feet.
Yeah.
Like PCS is still fine. There's not really much changes going on. It's mostly LGL that I'm just like I don't know what the fuck to do. Dude.
Yeah.
There's so little options. I could probably guess what's gonna happen and then like be considered a leak. Like there's really like, it's like LGL's now starting to fix their system. Like the way NA didn't really develop talent. LGL didn't really develop talent.
They did worse, bro. They just hired. They just created LCK from Wish.
Yeah, so like they figured out, they copied NA. Stack as many Koreans as you can. Korean coaches get 3 Korean players. So that's what they did for years, and it carried them. Or at least it carried the top teams to success. But now that some of the good Japanese players like Yutapon, Evi maybe aren't playing so well. Well, Yutapon's retired, but Evi's not playing so well.
Yeah.
Maybe like Marble is like not doing too good. And these are your like, Japanese
stars.
players. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, like even if it's like, oh, Evi's not doing so well, it's like, okay, let's replace him. The question is with who? Like who is Japanese and is also good at top lane?
Momo,
and that's the hard part.
Momo will save Japan.
Momo has potential, yeah.
Momo will save Japan.
I've been watching LGLs. It was fun this year.
All I'm saying, bro, is DFM couldn't beat SHG until they got Momo. And then once they got Momo, they were beating SHG consistently. So,
true.
I'm just saying, Momo's already saved
dude,
DFM.
Momo's the GOAT.
Yeah, he already saved DFM.
He doesn't even need to play, dude. His presence alone is just making it better. Man.
Aura. That guy.
Respect, man.
Yeah, that guy will save Japan. But unfortunately, there's a lot for Japan to be saved because I think they are still leaps and bounds behind VCS and the PCS. I am really still very excited though because like one thing that of course elephant in the room you got to be worried about is LPL coming over and seeing these nice little guys in CFO. Yoink! Oh, yoink! Oh, what's this? Yoink!
I mean,
that's the one thing you always got to be worried about. But there's one region that we don't have to be as worried about, in regards to this, and that's the VCS. And I mean, Team Secret Wales are looking very hopeful. I mean, 2 18-year-olds, honestly, I was pretty happy with their World's performance. Do I think they could have done better? Yeah, they could have beaten MKOI. But, like, still happy with how they did.
Well, yeah, like, that's what I mean, Like, Dyer and
Histo.
Dyer and Histo, they're, like, so young, right?
Yep.
They're, like, it's just starting to rebuild. Like, VCS has talent. You just have to give it time.
Yeah.
Because, like, half their player base got banned, right?
Culled.
So now you have to reload. And that it doesn't happen instantly.
No.
So people like Dyer and Histo, yeah, they look rough, but dude, I mean, you're 18. Mid-jungle 18 rookie.
Okay, Histo did not look rough though. Histo looked really good. I actually think Histo played really well.
I meant the whole year.
Oh, right,
not just Worlds. Like, all
right.
From the beginning to end, like that 1 year like development was rough because they were just your mid jungle being like inconsistent is like the worst thing you can do.
Sure.
And it just took them like a whole year to get like some semblance of like consistency and strength.
Yeah.
And I think at Worlds, like they look pretty good. Like I do think
Histo looked great.
Looked really good.
And Dyer looked
there are some
rough.
LCP matches where they look bad. That's what I mean. Like
yeah. I think
this
Dyer
year was rough. overall,
Worlds
but I
was
think
worrying.
next year will be way better.
Yeah, yeah, that's my point as well. And I'm obviously, because of this whole drafting thing for the LPL, extremely concerned that like a lot of our players get taken, right? Like, I mean, ultimately, do I think DCG players will get taken? No, which I think is a relief because I actually think they're a really good team. Like, genuinely, I think they're a very good team.
You never know that. That's the problem with LPL. Like,
yeah,
you know,
true. They could just be like,
like,
you know what, actually, Hongsho, yoink.
as far as I know, like every year, like LMS, PCS, LCP, it's always like a fear of like,
Yeah.
oh, who might get bought out,
Yeah.
and like who might want to go over, or like who's like looking really hot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, it's like since even like the 2022, like I've had players on CFO get contacted by LPL teams.
Yeah.
So like,
fuck, man, get
even
your
then,
hands
like,
off my fucking players. Sorry.
like, if you think about the players back then, you're like, okay, who can it be? It's like, dude, that's what I'm saying. It could be anyone. Like,
Yeah.
what these teams just decide, like one day, like, you know what? That guy, I really like him. I want him. And you're just like, wait, what? Why
and then all of a
now?
sudden,
Like,
Uncle
okay.
Kaiwing's over there playing in BLG.
He's gonna be, because dude,
Yeah.
he'd be an upgrade.
Yeah,
Like, I think he's just a talent. He's really
He
good
is
on
good.
those tanks. He's really good.
he is.
But yeah,
But yeah, it's just worrying, right? I think is the main thing. Is like, and like myself, I'm still going to be a fan of CFO of the LCP next year, regardless. Like, it doesn't matter to me who's on the team in that case. But like, I think specifically, and like again, I really care about like the Vietnamese fan base, the Taiwanese fan base, the English fan base. But I, especially for the Taiwanese fan base, am worried because like, I mean, again, it's been 10 years since any semblance of success has been found on the world stage. They finally find it, and immediately the first thing you've got to think about is, okay, well, who is the LPL going to buy and take away from this team? You know, because then it's just like, okay, well, now we're rebuilding again. Now we've got to try and get back to those heights from the beginning, and I think that sucks. I think having that worry really does suck quite a lot. Of course, for the players, if they go over there, there's no reason to hate on that because they're just doing what's best for their life, you know, and ultimately their life is a lot more meaningful than the game. But as fans, it does suck to see. And so I hope at least I think it's hard to say. Like, if I could choose between, like, I mean, let's be real. There's like CFO, obviously the team, right? And for me, and obviously other people have their opinions, but it's like Junja is one side of the coin and Honkyu's like the other. And obviously at Worlds there's Doggo as well, but like he's done his dash in the LPL. I swear they're not getting that guy back. Like, you either get Doggo in the LPL, which is like down here, or Doggo in the LCP, but you're not getting, you know, he's not both. He's one or the other. But like there's Junja and Honkyu. Honkyu, the new guy, new talent, can be developed, can you don't know his height yet. There's no way to know his height. And there's Junja, who you know is just a fucking good player. Who's probably not going to get much better, but he's already at a level where it's like, okay, well, how much better can you really get? So those are the two I'm worried about, and I don't actually know which I'm more worried about, because Junja raises the overall level of the league. Honkyu is like a franchise player, right? Like that is a guy that can be a franchise player. And already in a way he has been for CFO, being that he's come all the way through Academy. So I'm worried. I'm hopeful, but like,
I mean,
and I'll be a fan
it's honestly
regardless.
like the same thing every year, dude.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like, I mean, I've been working with CFO for like 4 years now. Like, every year I hear the same thing. It's just like, gosh, man, like, I gotta figure something out. You know, you gotta just like pray and hope. Like, you know what? Hey, I tweeted about, but like NA fans, now you know that feeling where you're like, oh, what a beautiful day. Let's me check. Oh my God, Lucio, you know, it's like that kind of shit. Now you know what it feels like. So I mean, like, hey, I'm connecting a little bit more with those NA fans. You know,
Bro, hey,
like we'll just
those fucking NA fans have been stealing Mal players from OS this whole time, bro. They've even, they've made
OCE,
it so cookie cutter, bro.
NA.
They got so
PCS, like everyone's just like,
bro, they got so egregious with it. They changed the fucking immigration rules around OS players. They're like, fuck it, you're residents now. Like, fuck, now we're just losing more players.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, I mean, like, for me, regardless, like, I'm gonna be a fucking fan of the LCP. It doesn't matter, bro. Xiao 2 could come back, and I'm still a fan. You know, Godtone, the Hellpigs get in there, bro. He's playing jungle. Like, fuck it, let's ball. But yeah, I do hope. Dude, I do hope most of CFO.
I think PCS is like, honestly, I'm not as much of a downer because I think tier 2 in PCS is actually really good. I think you know, yeah, it's gonna suck if good players leave.
Mhm.
But I just feel like, you know, this region is just so good finding the next talent and trying to develop new players
Yeah.
that will just bounce back. You know, maybe
Yeah,
it might
so
not
good
be
at it.
this year or next year, but
So
I think
good
this
at
is
it.
gonna happen sooner than later. Sooner
Yeah.
than NA, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stop talking
Well,
shit about NA,
I
dude.
mean,
I'm
like,
diseased.
yeah, they are their own and worst enemies in terms of like just completely ignoring the fact that like you need amateurs to be able to then replace players that want to exit or like stop performing as well, right? Like, and yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's all going to come down to
Yeah.
over the next couple of months. You know, January 16th, start date of the LCP, ladies and gentlemen. Twitch.tv/lolpacific again. Or twitch.tv/KMT lol. Either way, you're still watching the LCP. Depends
Yeah,
on
but you're
whether you
watching
want
worst
someone
product.
talking about his island draft of, what was it, Aurelia, Sona, some shit. Or the guy
Dude, I
that's
had
talking.
a good draft, dude.
No,
I had
mine
a
was
good
so
draft.
much better, bro. I was eliminated. I was doing good for the human.
Dude, yours is just sending yourself to purgatory. It makes no sense. Why
but
would you torture
for
yourself?
the greater good, bro. For the greater good.
Dude.
Also, I mean, we'll end the video very soon, but I wanted to say massive congratulations for Doggo for discovering that Jin is dog shit and not picking it once. So, good shit, Doggo. We worked it out that
Doggo's
champ
the best.
fucking sucks and we didn't pick it. I was so happy to see that. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Kevin? I'm honestly just going to raw dog this on YouTube. There will be no editing. I'm too...
That's fine. Frosty, LCP is the best. LJL will be good one day.
Momo.
And yeah, when we import 4 Koreans in an LJL team, you'll feel the wrath
True.
of DFM and SHE.
when SHG just buy T1. Yeah. All right. Well,
Dude.
what were you gonna say?
It's so dumb, dude.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and yeah, see you January 16th. Bye bye.
Bye bye.